going on? Welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we're back with another LEGO City update. Things have been moving and shaking inside our LEGO City, and we've got a number of things to do today, so we're going to try and accomplish as much as we can, and of course work on the nature area. Quick spoiler alert, we finished the treehouse the other day. Check out that video if you haven't already, but we've got a bunch of pieces in. It's time to start mills plating this whole area in order to kind of build in like the landscaping part of it, like with the river and such, so that way we can really start moving things along and start on the mountain. But we've got a ton of stuff over here. We've got an unboxing to do here shortly, as well as put away some of these parts that we just don't know what to do with. A lot of these are going to go toward the mountain, like this 2x4 brick, hopefully some of these profile bricks down here as well. We've got some kind of large plates, and I'm sure there's some pieces in that unboxing which you might see as well before the LEGO City update comes out. I am from the past when I'm making this video here, but make sure you check out that unboxing video of this stuff here. And all of these pieces will be helpful going towards the mountain and nature area, but we need to kind of clear off our build table a little bit. We need to do our Easter set as well. We need to find a place for the Red Hulk and Captain America set in the city, so we've got a ton to do today. For storage in our LEGO room, we don't have a ton of space for all of those kind of parts here, so we might just have to kind of keep them separate for now. We use these little drawer pieces. I'll put a link down below to them, but I think they're super helpful. You gotta have some more of these or some of like the larger drawers for like the large quantity of pieces we're gonna be using, but we have 3 of those here in the LEGO room. But as we continue to grow our parts inventory, we're gonna need some more drawers for sure. So just an overall quick update. As you can see, that big chair is finally gone. So it really opens up our LEGO room here. We also got rid of the TV that was over here as well, because we want to use this for some more display. In particular, one of the next sets I really want to build is like Rivendell. I think would look really great over here. So glad we got both of those out of here. It seems like it adds a little bit more echo to the room, but we'll deal with that when we can. But overall, it's great that we finally got that done. Next, we needed to deal with these gift with purchases over here and these instruction manuals, and I think we'll be well on our way. And as we've discussed plenty of times before, we do plan to start expanding the LEGO City tables themselves by starting in this area now that that's gone. Shout out to one of the big supporters of the channel for coming on by to make all of that happen for us. We also need to clear off this table, so let's see if we could find a place for this set here. However, I don't know if it's worth putting this plane in the city just yet. We just don't have the pieces in order to have it like flying properly. So I think we're just going to take everybody out and find a place for them throughout the city with just the minifigures. And we'll put this on reserve for another day. All right, the superhero area is looking packed. So we added Red Hulk facing off with Captain America down here. We got Ruth Bat-Surratt right over there. And we've got the Joaquin Torres Falcon just kind of flying around. We found one of those bar pieces and put him on right there. So I think that will be a good spot for him. So definitely good to have more flying around in the city. I know this section's a little dark. More lighting in here is also on the to-do list. It's just one step at a time here. But let's go ahead and move on to something else. So let's look at this nature area here now. So the other day we had a LEGO shopping haul. We picked up 2 of these 48x48 base plates. We've never used these before because I just like the 32x32 system, which is literally everything else in the LEGO City. So I don't want to get like too off kilter by using them. But I think if we use them over in this tunnel area, let's see if I can get over there. Like if we use it right here, I think that will be pretty helpful for the tunnel area. The one on the end will then be a 32x32. So we need to figure out the best way we want to use these. So it could be sliding it up to about there, and then this one going there, and then that leaves this 32x32, which could work. So it might be better if we do that. So, I mean, the tunnel is going to be all one big module anyway when we get to it. So the next big thing I think we need to do is, in order to build this properly, I want to try and take all of this out of here because we need to do a mills plate. So I think we're going to try and do that. It's going to be a pain to put back in the future, but I think it's going to be worth doing if we can maybe move this out of here, at least to get it mills plated and then bring it back. So let's see if we can set up a time lapse and get that going. So after moving it from up there to down here, this is what we've got. Bit of a mess, didn't go exactly how I hoped. I'll have to show you that one clip where I dropped everything over top the beach. I'm sure there's still broken things over there. A bunch of broken palm trees, but you know, that's how it goes. So now, so it ended up on the floor because it's not going to fit on the table, at least at this point. I want to get like the layout kind of figured out, and then I can maybe move certain sections onto the table while we work on it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try and put this back together with a bit of sense, and then we'll start the ultimate mills plate for it. All right, now we're on to something. So we've got the 2x2 bricks kind of securing everything together for the moment. I took out that other mills plate because we're just gonna save that for another opportunity. Over here looks pretty good. You can see in order to make the 48x48s work, you then have to insert the 16x32 along those sides. So there's 3 of those to the 2 48x48s. I've also put where the train track is going to be, as well as the tunnel that is going to go through this whole thing. I know that's a little weird to do with a mountain and a train track, but you know, I'm okay with it for now. And if it doesn't work out, we can always scrap it. But that way we've kind of lined up where that's going to go through. And then from here, we're going to hopefully do like a dirt road kind of going through, as well as the river and as well as a mountain. So now that all of that is in place, when you're starting on the mills plate, you want to do the landscaping. Of course, MILS stands for Modular Integrated Landscaping System, and that way you can integrate landscaping in it. So the river that we're going to have going through here, or like a creek really, is going to kind of go through kind of like it was before, but it's going to be the lowest level, basically starting on the base plate itself. And then from there, we'll build up around it and then use actual mills plate technique to make this very sturdy, and we'll build it in different sections so we can move it independently if we need to. The only other thing we need to think about is the elevation. As we've talked about before, I kind of want this back section over here to be a bit more elevated in order to kind of give a bit of a forced perspective. The back of the beach, starting in this area, actually starts at 2 bricks tall. So I think we're going to try and do 2 bricks here, go down to 1, go down to 1, go up to 2. I think would be the way to go. The other option is we start at 2, go to 1, go to 2, go to 3 in that back corner, and then basically go down to 1 this side through the rest of it, I think will be the way to do it. So we'll just have to see how all of that works out, but I'm pretty excited to give it a go here. I know it's been a long time coming, but all this planning hopefully will pay off. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick test fit of some of the sets. So a lot of them are just sitting right over here, and then the treehouse behind me. We're gonna get the A-frame cabin, we're gonna get all these campers, and we're going to try and place them just on here as is for now, just to get an idea of the location of things first. We're then gonna have to take it all back off, but I think that's the right next step so we can kind of get an idea of where the river is going to go from there. So here's what I've got so far, and really I think this is going to turn more into a campground. I keep calling it the campground / nature area as it's, technically both, but I think it's going to be more of a campground with some sort of water going through and then a few trails to get to each of these campsites or structures. Ideally with some room to grow. That's why I'm not really too sure to what to do in the middle here other than maybe a communal space or like a small pond or something. Because again, the idea is the tunnel should be here. It'll stop on the 48x48 plate. So we'll have some room over there. But The issue I'm having is with the back. The Sanderson sisters cottage is the one I don't need to put in here. I would like to, because it kind of goes with the A-frame cabin and everything. And of course we did build the tree house in order to have it put into the campground and nature area, because where else would we put it if we don't? I mean, we could take it out of there. Because it does kind of throw the scale off a little bit. If you put a big mountain and tunnel going through here, it might look a little strange. The other issue we're having in the back here is on my original design, if you remember this, very well done of course, this is basically the same layout, and I have the tunnel going this way, but I wanted the mountain to kind of curve out so it's not just a big gray tube looking thing. I wanted it to have some more depth to it, because it's going to have to stop at the front here, and that's where we're going to do more of a traditional kind of tunnel entrance made with like masonry brick and stuff for it to transition out into the normal world. But the other side is going to be, but everything else is going to be all mountain and such through there. So basically the issue becomes, do we roll along with the treehouse? I like it because it adds a lot of tree coverage, and we do of course plan to add a ton of trees in here to kind of cover all this up. That's going to be like one of the last steps, is just to make 1,000,000 trees to kind of go in this section. But what do we do?
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so it's the next day, and we had a bit to sleep on this setup here. And, you know, it's a little crowded, but I think we're going to try and make it work. The one thing I think we're going to do is we're going to switch the Sanderson sister house and this little thing down here. That way we can give the A-frame cabin a little bit more breathing room, and it doesn't throw the scale too much off by having the treehouse over there as well. So let's do that real quick. So it looks something more like this. So especially if we're able to put the Sanderson sisters cottage at an angle, I think that'll make it look nice over there. There is a water wheel on the other side, a little hard to get from this angle, but we can maybe have the water go off that way. But I do like over here, I think that looks pretty good. It just opens it up just a little bit more. And of course, in here will be a work in progress. I don't hope to have it like a grid-like pattern, because it's going to be able to come over into this base plate as well. But I think that'll really kind of set us up nicely. This might not look like it, but this took a number of hours of work, kind of moving everything, thinking things through, moving stuff around, doing the other things we did in the city today as well. So, but I think we're off to a pretty good start with this new project. We're going to try and build it right here on the ground for just a little bit, just to kind of see how it goes. Of course, we are still waiting on some parts. That's why we're going to wait for a minute. We did another big parts order the other day, which is going to have some of like the river pieces that we ordered there in order to kind of make that look good, because that's going to be the next big step. We're going to outline the river again, and then we'll be able to mill's plate. So we're going to raise everything up at least one brick, besides like the river or creek going through here. And then we're going to hopefully start slotting things in place in order to kind of get a basic elevation down with some bricks. And then, of course, we'll start on this little tunnel project over here as well. So the next big stage of the Lego City is underway here, and I'm real excited about it. Of course, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, but as we get things going here, it's going to get even more fun. So make sure you subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks so you don't miss the next Lego City update. But I think that's going to do it for today. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. And until next time, thanks for coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Have a good one.